recommended me in the comments a lot, and it's a video that actually I was posted like 4 weeks ago, and it already has like 700,000 views. So a lot of people have been, you know, watching it and recommending it. So we're doing Taylor Swift's saddest interview moments. New to the channel, subscribe, click the like button, let me know what you guys want to see next in the comment section below. I know a lot of you guys say that like you like that I do kind of like more of Taylor Swift instead of just like doing music. I try to like, you know, I do more videos like this, so I try to fit these in while also doing her music. While there's just so much to do, so you know it's gonna take a long time to get through just all of this. So yeah, let's do this. Sorry, I just like woke up, so I'm a little tired.
You know,
a little tired.
It's interesting that in your songs you're still the outsider with all the success.
Yeah, my mom talks to me a lot about that, because I think you kind of get set in how you feel when you're in school. Like, I could be sitting in the front row at an award show and I still don't feel like a cool kid. Like,
to this day. And
like
you are the cool kid now.
And what went through your mind when you came up and then like they cut off the...
Well, I was standing on stage and I was really excited because I had just won the award, and then I was really excited because Kanye West was on the stage, and then I wasn't so excited anymore after that.
And Taylor, are there any hard feelings towards him?
I don't know him, and I've never met him, so.
So were you a fan before?
Yeah. It's Kanye West.
Are you still a fan? I take it now.
You know, I don't know him, and I don't want to start anything because you know, I had a great night tonight. So.
Did anyone give you support backstage?
Yeah, I've been getting so many text messages. It's like, and everybody's been really nice. So I've had a really, really fun night. It's been interesting, definitely. It's definitely been an interesting night.
How hard was it to coordinate the performance with the subway and all
it's
of
crazy
the...
how like nice she was. I'm sure like I don't know how management, I assume management, like I don't know what they're I don't know if she was just on the spot of her like saying, you know, all this, or if management, because of course management's gonna like need to like have her say certain things because that's like they make the final say, but they also could not even been there, and this could just be on the fly and her saying this. I wanted in either one, she would have decided to be nice about it, and then management probably would have told her to be nice about it. So no matter what, they would have probably been nice about it. But I think it's super interesting how like mature she seems in this clip, even though she's like what, 19, 20.
Performance was one of my favorite parts of the night, and especially the fact
you have to grow up so quickly, and when you're doing something like what she does, you have to grow up so quickly.
It was so
quickly,
so fan oriented, and the fact that the fans were everywhere, it was just wonderful. And I love New York, so I was so excited to be here.
Are you gonna reach out to Kanye?
Huh?
Are you gonna reach out to Kanye? Thank you guys so much.
Just gonna try to have a good night. Thank you so much.
Supposed to ring, but I don't want to. I don't want to. Okay, all right. This makes me feel so bad about myself. Every time I come up here, you put like a different dude up there on the screen. There's never been two guys on the screen 2 visits in a row. It's sad.
Is your life at all normal?
It's sad.
No, not at all. What's the most abnormal?
The most abnormal thing about my life is having sort of crowds form everywhere you go. And just everywhere. So that starts happening, and then you have to take security everywhere you go. All of a sudden, you realize that you have not been alone, truly, for 5 years.
I try not to ever really say where I am the most, because since all my addresses are on the internet, people tend to show up uninvited. Like, you know, dudes that think we have an imaginary marriage.
You mentioned
that's so bad, dude.
Dressing with
That's
you?
terrible.
Yeah, I've had a lot of stalkers show up to the house armed. So we have to think that way.
Do you ever suffer from anxiety dreams?
Dude.
Do you ever have those dreams before a big show where you're fighting clowns or you're wrestling with a lion?
Oh my God, yes,
Or,
anxiety
you know,
dreams.
Bro, does it tell you like how many sick people we have in this world? They're walking amongst it. You ever think about that? Like you're at the store, and like I always think about that. Like, you know, what does this person actually do with their life? Like, are they actually safe to be around? You never know, but you have to just keep walking past them.
And also, like, my reality, even when I'm not dreaming, is like peppered with lots of anxiety. Just like ridiculous anxiety. I have a lot of issues with buildings like this because I always feel like someone has bugged the room and is either videoing me or recording me.
No, I know, but like dressing rooms and stuff. So that's one of my paranoias. Anxiety dreams, I always have nightmares that I'm being framed for murder.
Do you?
Yes, and then I'm being framed so well that I can't remember if I did it or not in the dream.
Wow.
And so that really winds me up. And then I'm just like freaked out for the next couple of days. I mean, if you want to talk about all my like issues with anxiety, we could be here for days.
I'd rather not.
Okay.
That's okay, because
you asked
He
the
said,
question.
I'd rather not.
You didn't ask a fun question.
Would you like to lay down on the couch
You
and
didn't
tell me
ask
all
my
about your
favorite
childhood?
kind of candy. You asked how many different kinds of anxiety dreams do I have.
But you do have them.
Yeah,
so
I
say
have
you're in
them.
a dressing room, you're talking with a friend privately about the fact that you're not sure whether you've murdered someone or not, and then you look up at the little fire alarm thing and you go, could there be a camera
There's
in
a
there?
red light there, yeah. And there's also the dream that, like, anytime I'm paparazzi'd out, like, which is a lot, I have dreams that night that they're in my room taking pictures of me while I'm sleeping. So, like, I'll find myself smiling in my sleep, like, trying to, like, because I think there are people in my room taking pictures of me.
People go, are you okay?
Not smiling because I'm happy, smiling because, like, because I think people are taking pictures of me.
And does your
That's
boyfriend
so
like
scary.
the way it smells? I don't have one. I keep telling you that. I don't have like even kind of a boyfriend.
Not even kind.
I don't have someone that I'm texting that's a guy that might someday be my boyfriend. There's like nothing going on right now.
That's pathetic.
Yeah. Just like,
You're busy.
yeah, well,
You're
yeah,
very, very
of
busy.
course.
What is the craziest thing that a boy has ever done to get your attention?
Nobody does anything crazy to get my attention. I don't know.
I don't know.
As far as guys.
Don't say that, Taylor. You're gonna have people showing up and you're gonna have a dude in your house. You're gonna have a dude in your house
They
saying
don't
that.
work hard enough, do they?
I don't think she probably looks super young, so I don't think she understood that at that point. But yeah, don't say that.
Like, I don't know.
Don't say
I
that.
can't remember, so I guess, you know, I guess there hasn't been anything.
Kind of made
Which
too
is
much.
good, so it's like easier. The bar's set really low for anyone who I date in the future to come in and be like a great guy. I'll be like, how, you exist? This is crazy.
I've been thinking about it.
Some dude showed up at her house
People who,
after she said that.
if they're either
Probably.
suffering through mental illness or they're suffering through addiction or they have an everyday struggle. No one pats them on the back every day, but every day they are actively fighting something. But there are so many days that nobody gives them credit for that.
Yeah.
And so how often
This conversation was probably my favorite conversation in the folklore Long Pond sessions. It was super deep and super true. Actually, everything they were talking about in this clip right here was amazingly done.
somebody who's in that sort of internal struggle must want to say to everyone in the room, you have no idea how close I am to going back to a dark place, or you have no idea.
You have no idea how hard it is to get to the point where you guys think is still shitty.
Yes, and then the second verse is about, you know, someone who felt like they had a lot of potential in their life. I think there are a lot of mechanisms for us in our school days, in high school or college, to excel and to be patted on the back for something. And then I think a lot of people get out of school, and there are less abilities for them to get gold stars.
Yeah.
And then you have to make all these decisions, and you have to pave your own way, and there's no set class course you can take, and and I think a lot of people feel really swept up in that. And so I was thinking about this person who is really lost in life and then starts drinking, and every second is trying not to.
Yeah.
One song on the album called Soon
She explains that so well. Actually, that's something that's like everything she says in that clip is probably that's one of my favorite clips of her just talking ever, because everything she says is just so true. My first reaction when I was watching that is just amazing. I was like, oh my god, you're like literally everything is true.
better that it's I can't even really hear, I can't even listen to it.
She won't talk specifically about her inspiration, but it comes at a time when her mother, Andrea, who was battling cancer, suffered a relapse.
It's really interesting because I don't think I have written a song quite like that before, and it's just sort of like, it's just a tough one.
I can imagine, but I can also tell you, having listened to it, that it's universal.
It's just not something that we deal with until we have to, until we see it, until we experience it, until someone close to us is going through something like that. And so writing about it was really emotional, and I'm just gonna stop talking about it now.
Understandable.
Taylor Swift opens up to Elle magazine admitting that she's never fallen in love before. In the new issue of Elle magazine, Taylor is admitting that she has never ever fallen in love before. She said, "It's magical."
Wait, what'd she say? They're gonna repeat it the third time? I wonder what Taylor said.
Well, if you ask anyone who's ever fallen in love, it's the
Wait,
greatest.
what'd she say?
I have more of a grasp on the fact that when you're in a state of infatuation,
Just like 3 minutes of her just saying, Taylor Swift has said she's never fallen in love before.
And you think everything that a person does is perfect, it then, if you're lucky, morphs into a real relationship.
Bro, I hate this channel, by the way. They're clever.
That person is not in fact perfect, but you still want to see them every day. I've never had that. She also says in the mag that she believes that the idea of happily ever after doesn't exist in real life, and that she doesn't see herself, quote, riding off into the sunset because the cameras keep rolling in real life.
Never been in a relationship where I wrote my first couple of albums, so the projections I thought they might be, like she tells her, they were based on movies and books and songs and literature that tells us that a relationship is the most magical thing that can ever happen to you. And then once I fell in love, or thought I was in love, never experienced disappointment. It was just not working out. I realized that there was, however, it's so true though. When you really do grow up though, and you're especially a teenager, you really do think all of that's. I guess it's possible. You know, I'm sure it's possible. You know, here and there, but 99% of the time I feel like it's probably not possible. And like that's like when you grow up and you realize that. I guess it could happen, so like I'm sure it does happen to some people. I'm sure like you live forever, like that's a real thing that happens, but it was legitimately such a minimal amount of times that it's not very possible. But yeah, it's crazy how like you grow up and we watched her grow up in real time and her experience that, especially as a person that wrote all those songs. You could see that person when they're young write all those songs, and then like a couple years later be like, yeah, it's not possible. It's so crazy how like true it is, and we get to like see her experience that in real time, which is a little depressing. We get to see her experience that in real time, but yeah. But it's cool to see her grow up though also.
When I feel like with everything that's in my control, I can make myself seem like someone who doesn't have an abnormal life. And I try that every day. Every day it's like, how do I make myself among my friends and family and my loved ones not see this big elephant that's in the room for our normal life, because I don't want the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to be in my life, I feel like there's a certain amount that comes with it that I can't stop from happening.
Yeah.
I can't stop from you getting a call in the morning that says, you know, the tabloids are writing this today. I can't help it if there's a guy with a long lens camera.
I love about these two clips also though is Jack and I forget this guy. I don't know why I keep they just sit there and they listen very well, and they like reply with actually really good thoughts. Like it's not them just like kind of sitting there and just adding nothing, or just like clearly not, like they're clearly both like intently listening and like adding something after they let her talk for so long, you know? It's actually, I appreciate that also.
2 miles away with a telescope lens taking pictures of you. I can't stop those things from happening. And so this song was basically like, is it enough? Is the stuff that I can control enough to sort of block out the things that I can't?
Yeah.
So it makes me really emotional to hear this song.
Can you do anything?
That's what okay, so when I first watched the Long Pond session, which I haven't finished yet on Patreon, but I will be finishing on Patreon very soon, probably tonight. The dude right there, the picture right there, is guy from the Big Lebowski. That's what that's from.
You use the word normal, so I'll use it. Can you do anything like a normal person? Can you go out for a coffee? Can you go shopping? Or is everything an event with tons of paparazzi following you?
Anything outside my house or my apartment doesn't ever really feel normal.
I could never live like
I try
that.
so hard to make it normal because I don't
He said,
engage,
smile,
like,
Taylor,
if
smile.
I'm being followed by a camera crew and all these paparazzi, they know that I don't want to have a conversation. And in New York, they're very respectful of that. Like, they just take their pictures and they say thank you and they leave. I don't want to make it into a press conference. My friends wouldn't want that either. But in my apartment, in my house, we can bake, we can make dinner, we can
dance, we can do whatever we want. It's just that it's just a fact.
See, it sucks that like she can't even get inside without them like being there already, because they have to like prep the security for her to like walk in, so they know where they're setting up that like security, so they can like run over, and then so it's like impossible to like get
when
past
I'm
them,
outside,
and they're following you from when you leave
the
your house.
doors of
So
my apartment,
it's
people
pretty
are watching
scary.
me, and
That's
that's
legal.
the life that I chose.
It's
And
weird.
you're okay with it?
I have days where I am, days where I'm not. Like, I don't think anyone has a solid stance on any way that they feel. Like, it's like saying, are you happy every day? I mean, it sometimes it feels absolutely stifling and overwhelming, to be honest with you.
Yep. We see such difficult finding underwear because they're famed here, so we'll discuss the various cons of being a famous singer. Just 20. One of the biggest names in the music group, reported 45 million this year, but success continued to be her biggest household name, saying, "There are places I can't shop anymore. When I go buy pajamas, people are always being nosy, trying to look what size I'm buying. It's embarrassing." Though on the subject of internet, girls gotta wear them, and every so often a girl's gotta buy them, and Swift won't be being able to push this guys. One day long, she went shopping at Victoria's Secret. I woke up and there were like 15 people looking at me. Which camera's phone's out? Want to take a picture of what kind of... That's so fucking weird, dude. Could you imagine? I could never imagine, bro.
This week was the American election.
People really have no boundaries. Like, really don't have like anything to get like to be able to post on social media and get like clout from it. Like, there's no boundaries anymore. I don't know if anyone saw that clip of John Cena, this guy going up to John Cena and he's like, "I'm famous on TikTok," and then John Cena's like, "Can you leave me alone, or like at least ask to film me?" And he's like, "Dude, I'm famous." I'm famous, John Cena.
And you've been very secretive about how you vote, what you're voting for.
Well, I mean, I just figure I'm a 22-year-old singer, and I don't know if people really want to hear my political views. I think they just kind of want to hear me sing songs about breakups and feelings.
Can you just kind of sum up this whole year?
I hate that they laugh, because I feel like she was truly deep down, maybe at that time she was just so convinced by the management, because that's what I'm sure management was telling her so much, and she was grazed like that. But it's like sad knowing that like that's really never what she would like. Now, like, looking at her, I guess it's happy because you can see the growth of her, but it's also sad because like she was so kind of like brainwashed into that thought process of that they'd only want to hear breakups. It sounds so like degrading towards yourself, they only want to hear this of the breakup songs, and that it sounds just so degrading. But she doesn't understand that at that point, that how like terrible that sounds against yourself, and like everyone around her is telling her that's how it should be. So it's cool to see the growth, but it's also like in that moment it's kind of like sad.
Yeah, no, I have no idea how this happens. This is like, I mean, and I know that this is probably never going to happen to me again like this. Like this kind of a year is so rare and so unique. Every album I put out has had its own different kind of feeling for the way that the year has gone, and this is such a unique feeling with Red. Like the fact that the fans got me to win Artist of the Year for the third time is kind of, to me, hard to even wrap my mind around. Like, I just sometimes I'm so happy I'm scared, if that makes any sense. Like,
well, with what you just said, it does make sense, because you don't think you're ever going to be able to achieve something like this again, and that why?
Because I do that every time I win an award. Like, I just feel like this has got to be it.
That's like something that I wake up to, and like I think a lot of people like that can do this kind of weird stuff is like every day you wake up and you're just like, because there's nothing guaranteed, especially what she does. It's not guaranteed. Like, it just depends on, I guess it really just depends on yourself, where like most jobs, like it kind of is like guaranteed. Like, you can do literally the bare minimum every day and they'll just like, it's it's good enough, so you're gonna get like that guaranteed check. Where like a lot of times, especially in her job, like you can't, like there's no bare minimum, because it's like everything, if you make a mistake, like make one bad album, everything could like go away. So it's like, it's very just like, it's like a hamster on the circling wheel, just going around and around and around constantly. I guess she's at the point where she's okay at this point, but it's also been 12 years of just straight grinding. So
people are gonna get sick of me. Clearly, I'm always sick of me.
Subscribe. We're gonna get it's hairstyles. Congratulations, hairstyles, Olivia Wilde. So yeah, it's gonna do everyone enjoyed. I've seen a couple of these and I feel like they are sad, but then also it's cool to see the growth. So it's like they're kind of sad at the same time, but then they're also like cool because like you could see a lot of them were older and you could see what kind of person she is now, and it's like she's like past that. So yeah, that's gonna do it, everyone. Enjoy. Check my Patreon if you want to support channeling further. New to your channel, subscribe, click the like button, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video.